Thanks, April. Look, it's a privilege to talk to you today. I really enjoy what you do. My permaculture projects, I guess, at the moment are revolving around finishing, hopefully, this year in Permaculture Educators course. In my home garden, I'm doing a lot of soil improvement. I live on quite a shaly, dry area in Queanbeyan, so on a slope, so we're constantly trying to make soil here. So I'm having another burst at that with a lot of goodness being thrown at the dirt. I've got certain patches. The other project I'm working on is working with my son to develop the Permaculture app and the platform that it can offer. So this app brings online information together, so saves you time surfing. And we have a Facebook group as well. So over this year, I've been promoting the 52 climate actions each week through that platform. And yeah, trying to apply it myself and sharing that experience. And in June, I'm hoping to launch a local initiative for our own community here in Queanbeyan to, I guess, share my experience of transitioning, co-create how we can build that in my own town. We have a lot of people working with sustainability in Queanbeyan, but I think we can lift our game another level, and I'm hoping to excite people to be part of that. So I'm calling that one Evolve. So
Evolve.
I think that's what we all need.
Yes. And how does that assist in design, especially in a difficult time like this fifth disaster for us, the pandemic?
Yeah. I'm what's called a certified professional ergonomist. So I look at I look at how humans interact in systems. So you've probably heard of user experience or customer experience, user-centered design. It's all those things. And I tend to focus on the system design side of things. So I mainly work with organisations creating management systems to help people enjoy their work efficiently, work safely, achieve what they want to achieve. I guess as a permaculture designer, that sort of is a really nice complement. They're both systems designs, they both include humans in the system, so things like that. So I can be designing a garden for someone, I can be advising on the layout of an air traffic control tower. A whole lot of variety in what I can do. And as a designer and applying design approach and systems, I think we're not actually very good at it as humans. So it's definitely a learnt skill for pretty much everyone to think in that way. And I think there's a whole generation of people who have just grasped that more naturally than previous generations because of our experience now, our education systems have created this sort of systems thinking, design thinking paradigms for people. It's really important to design an environment for a human to function in rather than expect the human to adapt to whatever you design, whether it's a product or a place or a social system. We've all seen examples of where that doesn't work from a product design point of view. You can debate the merits of Android versus Apple, for example, or a web page that you've just struggled with, like some of the web pages a lot of people are tapping into at the moment to get different payments and social services from and things like that. So that's sort of like the practical end of it. But I think what people don't necessarily appreciate is how the environment actually affects how we think and the decisions we make in that environment as well. So, for example, a very basic one like ceiling height in indoor spaces can really affect your mood. And there's some research saying that you actually make poorer decisions if the ceiling is lower. So I think that's fascinating. Just something like a ceiling height can actually change how you make decisions. So I guess in terms of urban design, it's those concepts of how do we connect people incidentally and in workplaces as well, like how do we create water cooler effects on people where they can just hang out and share information and reinforce each other and support each other positively as well, instead of creating channels where people circulate without having that incidental contact. So the open plan office is one thing, but actually having an understanding of how people move within that open plan office, the dynamics, if you like, of the environment is an important layer to consider in your design. And we would understand that from a permaculture design point of view, those concepts like stacking over time and succession and creating environments that multi-generations can use and things like that. All very important in whatever you're considering. Yes, so that's really my field, and yeah, user-centered design probably covers it in terms of what we're trying to achieve. And I like to extend it beyond humans when we're thinking about a whole permaculture system, because we want to cater for all living things. So, for example, at my place, we've sort of got a third of the area that we've got to play in is for our sustainability, if you like, our food growing, our enjoyment, and 2/3 of it is more try to bring it back into more of a habitat 4 to 5 state. And it's great because I look outside my office window and there's a kangaroo nursing her weaning Joey, and the bird life and things like that just brings so much enjoyment. I'm very lucky to have that.
Yeah, lovely. Well, I'm thinking about my chickens. And I do like them to have a space in which so what you said was you design for the user, design for the chicken, let's say, rather than ask the chickens to learn. I mean, that, and when Joel Salatin says you want to allow the chicken to express its full chickenness.
Yeah.
I'm wondering now when I can flip that back again to humanity, that humans want to express their full humanity. And so if we can find ways to design a space that allows us to express that humanity, so that we can speak in confidence with someone and not be heard across the street, let's say, but we can be heard across the street when we need to be. There's actually quite an intricate design required. And I guess some people might have just hit that by accident. Some places are just amazing, how they have a village green in the middle. And they're really quite, like, I'm thinking about some English villages. They have the village green in the middle, and then the houses all look into there, and you can choose to be part of that community just by looking in. When you can choose to actually engage by going into the space. And so I think a lot of people don't realize that permaculture goes beyond the self and beyond your own little patch. And it really is about networking the patches.
Yeah, the invisible structures, I guess, is a nice way to think about those things. As you said at the beginning, we're very, very big on the physicalities and the tangible things we, shove around and grow and compost and all create and make and all the rest of it. But it's the dynamics between those things that's part of the invisible structures, and it's how we interact with those and how the other living things in our system interact with those. All part of that invisibility. It does take a bit of conscious effort to appreciate them. So that's the observation sort of side, I guess, that we all need to do, and reflection and understanding of how we're interpreting it. It's a big part of that. The self-regulation principles are part of that. Many of us just go and use it, don't you? You don't even think about it. It's good to stop sometime and go, well, why do I walk down that side of the street instead of the other side of the street in my hometown or where I live? It might be because the sun is on that side, in the afternoon, or it might be because you have people that shops or hang out on that side. So there's always a subtle reason for why we move through our spaces and interact with them.
Fantastic. Thank you. So much to think about.
Absolutely.